Welcome to Behind the Berry, sponsored by Modexis, where you'll get to know the brand behind these world-class, innovative supplements formulated by science with you in mind. You'll meet our people, the founders of Modexis and members of our Product Research Council. You'll also hear about our amazing products through stories from our customers of overcoming health challenges. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. Modexis is the leader in bringing you the world's first family of innovative natural nutrition, powered by the elite superfruit, Lonicera cerulean. Our products are non-GMO, gluten-free, and made right here in the USA with no preservatives. They're 100% natural, so you can feel good about taking them and sharing them with your family. And learn just how easy it is to become an affiliate with Modexis and gain financial prosperity just by sharing Modexis with the people you love. Now let's jump into this week's episode of Behind the Berry. Hey guys, it's Brittney and welcome to another episode of Behind the Berry sponsored by Modexis. Today I have with me Liz Geeslin. Liz, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Brittney. Wonderful to be here.
Good. I'm so glad. Well, if you don't know already, Liz was our Modexis Momentum Maker Advocate of the Quarter for quarter one in 2023. And so I just wanted to start off by saying congratulations. And I can't wait. We're going to dive into how do you do that? And you can sort of help some of us along that need a little encouragement and a little bit of tools maybe to be as successful as you've been with Modexis. But before we jump into that, I would love to hear your story and how you came to find Modexis and utilize the products.
Okay, great, Brittney. Well, actually, I was introduced to the products by a gal that I was in another company with, and she has, a lot of knowledge, and she had been asked, I think, to be, it was early on when the company got started. And so we had a conversation, and she really felt that it was, but much better than what I had previously been taking, which I thought was a superior product.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a go, and I had a profound product experience with the longevity, which was, there were only two products at that time, and that was the Lonicera Longevity and the Lonicera Lift. And I knew right then and there that this was something that I could really get behind, and where I could really see it was different. I had another good friend that was an RN, has her master's in holistic nutrition, and I asked her to vet the product and look into the baby company it was. And she said, these products are different, Liz. They're not like anything else on the market. So I thought, this would be a fun adventure to be a part of. So that's basically, and that was in February of 2020, I believe, is when I started on the products.
Awesome. Was there an ailment or what was your reason behind using those previous products and then sort of switching gears and starting on Modexis?
Right. Well, the previous product I had been on was a resveratrol product that was very powerful. And my husband and I hadn't been sick in 5 years. And when Deb had said, I really believe that the longevity is better, my experience with it is that fall before I had started having profound carpal tunnel pain and was actually scheduled for surgery within 2 weeks before the COVID shutdown. So in a way, part of this story is thank you, COVID. So eventually what happened, and I know we can't make any medical claims, but I can give my testimonial.
Yeah.
Is after about 8 weeks, I'd been on the products, I think, then about 6 weeks when I went to the sports medicine doctor, had the appointment, and yep, you've got carpal tunnel, you need surgery. Here's the date. 2 days later, shut down. They call, say, can't, it's non-essential surgery, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. So I just keep taking the products, and I'm taking the products not thinking, I'm taking it because I think it's going to help my hand. I'm just taking them thinking it's just a much better supplement than what I was taking.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, after about another month, my hand started feeling better. And within another 6-8 weeks, my hand was perfectly fine. So that's it's profound. And no, we can't make claims per se, but that's the truth. And I went actually back to the sports medicine surgeon in August. And I told him, I said, I feel sort of silly being here. But I said, I only made one change in my life. And doggone it, he put through me all these tests. He goes, Liz, your hand is perfectly fine.
Wow.
And that was the only change I did. I'm a very routine person, and the thing is, it was so scary for me. Brittney is my main profession. Is I'm a personal chef. I've been a personal chef now for 20 years, and I'm right-handed. And so it was for a while. I felt like this must be what it's like to maybe lose a job, because it was
Mhm.
so painful. But so anyway, so after that, and then what Deb said is, Liz, there's your answer right there. How it's more powerful than the product you were taking. Which I
Wow.
thought, wow, right. If I had been taking that other, I maybe never would have had that issue. It would have really handled the inflammation, I guess. So anyway, it's been a great adventure for me so far, for sure.
I love that. Now, we're going to go into your favorite product, but I'm curious, do you also use Relieve then regularly, or do you use that more as needed? Or do you find that you need that with your hand, or?
No, my hand is fine, but I do take relief
Wow.
if just as needed for certain things, your normal aches and pains or different
Sure.
things like that. And my husband, though, he's 17 years older than I am, and he's got some arthritis in his back. And of course, he has dementia now, so he doesn't recognize how much better he's moving around. I
Mhm.
watch him and go, okay, obviously you feel better. But I started him on it, and he's on a blood center, so he was never able to take any kind of pain medication prior. So this was a godsend when Relieve came out because I could give it to him. It does no harm. And so I started where I really wanted to get ahead of the pain. So I think I started him on 3, 2, and 2, maybe for a couple of days. And now our routine is he takes one capsule in the morning, two at lunch, and one at night. And for an 86-year-old man, he's moving around pretty spry.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love hearing that. Well,
Yeah.
I think that segues us perfectly into what is your favorite product because I just assume everyone loves longevity and that's
Right.
probably their favorite. But I know because we have so many different products now, and people, their needs are different. So just
Right.
curious what your favorite might be, and if you can kind of maybe pretend I don't know what Modexis is and tell me how great it is and all about
Okay.
it because I know you're
Okay.
skilled at your sales as
Yeah.
well.
Well,
So
I would say because for me, as far as taking care of yourself and with wellness, I think a lot of people they just become overwhelmed because there's so many choices. And I'm one of those people that if it's not simple, I'm probably going to blow it off, to be honest. It's
yeah,
like I'm not going to be the one that's going to go and make the big list of all the supplements and go get all of the different things. And not really knowing are they the right things and then there's 10 different brands of the same thing. It's confusing. And so for me, this was just a blessing because longevity is the answer. Like what Dr. Rao said, if you had to pick one to take, that would be the one. Start there.
yeah.
Not that there aren't, like, in fact, I just helped a new customer yesterday with having certain things, and we're getting her going on the lift right away. And then eventually, I'm sure she's going to weave the longevity in because she does recognize the value of it, but
Sure.
just, to address this particular issue that she has. So for me, I think that for your overall best way to take care of your health is the longevity. But I honestly love all of them. And I was really grateful that I was on like the beta team for both Tranquility and Relieve when they were launched. They were product X as well as the Rhythm was, and how our company allowed the field to give their feedback to say, do you want this in the lineup? Of course, it's great. Dr. Rouse, of course, knew the formulation worked because it wasn't like he just formulated it,
Right.
yesterday, right?
Sure.
So for me, the Tranquility was a blessing because I had been an Ambien user for sleep. Several years, quite a few years ago, when we were going through some very stressful things in our personal lives, my husband and I, and I just always, my brain sometimes just tends to not want to turn off. So that Tranquility has just been a blessing. And even now, I will take it occasionally also during the day, especially to help me if I feel myself not being maybe as patient with Joe or things that are happening. It's a perfect nickname calling it the ultimate chill pill because it doesn't make you sleepy. It doesn't so when I explain it to people that no, it's helping relax your nervous system so you can be more aware of your behavior. It allows you to relax and, fall asleep. So as far as getting back to your original question is what's my favorite, I take them all for some. I mean, I take longevity, lift, and rhythm every morning, and just love it. My husband and I've been taking the lift since we started. And what Dr. Rouse, it was really great when Joe was diagnosed with his dementia. He said, Liz, have Joe take another 2 lift in the middle of the day, and which then that literally prevents him from going into a sundowners or an agitation. And it's been a real blessing as far as that goes.
Wow.
It just keeps his short-term memory, of course, is affected by this disease, but he's joyful. Yes, I mean, there's times he's confused about stuff and things take longer, but when I see that he still has a great quality of life, if you will, it's made a huge difference. And I know also with the biggest thing for him too is his allergies. He used to be, I mean, we used to have a box of Kleenex on every horizontal surface in the house. And it wasn't until after we'd been on the products for probably 6 months or so, I thought, his nose isn't running. I mean, he used to like come in, it was like, I'll get a Kleenex, ooh. And that it has and I know that people sometimes in the group ask about the allergies. And I can just say, I know for Joe, it's there's no more sniffling. There's no more Kleenex boxes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
And is
Yeah.
that you attribute that to lift specifically
No,
or the
I think
combination?
it's no, actually, it's from the longevity. It's
Okay.
the longevity is what Dr. Rouse, attributes that to when we looked more into all the different things that it can help with. And yes,
Well,
yeah,
that made me think of two things. One, my 13-year-old is like dying right now with all the pollen and just the craziness going on here in Florida. And so he takes a longevity every day, but he's been suffering these last couple of days. So I'm gonna double him up now that you
I
told me
would.
that. Yeah.
It won't hurt, Brittany. That's what I
Yeah.
tell people. Boy, if you're around people that are sick or you're traveling or you feel like you're getting a little run down, double up, triple up. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you can't take too much.
Yes, that is the beautiful thing. I definitely agree. And then on the note, as far as dementia, dementia has also touched my family. My
Mhm.
grandmother passed away from Alzheimer's, and I would have loved to have had a product like this for her 20 years ago when she was,
Right.
really dealing with this. But I have friends whose parents are also dealing with dementia, and some of the things that you mentioned, later in the day, things can kind of change or spiral,
Mhm.
and I know that that's so challenging, not only for the person like your husband, but
Mhm.
also for their caretaker.
Oh,
It's a lot. Um,
right.
and so I'm really glad that you brought that up because I was curious, and I should just ask more questions in our group. But I was
We'll
curious.
get to that when we talk about business.
Yes, yes. That I always just want to tell people, give like really with anything. Do you remember the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding where the dad
Yes.
like sprays Windex on everything? That's
Oh,
how I
yeah.
feel
Put
about
some Windex on
longevity,
it. Right.
right?
Exactly.
I'm like, just take a longevity. Like it'll probably fix whatever you've got going on.
Right. Right.
And that is how I feel. But of course, we want to make sure that we're offering the correct products and being
Right.
diligent in our sort of research in that as well. But
Right.
but I'm so glad to hear that your husband is thriving
Yes.
in kind of best case scenario using these products. It's
Right.
such a huge blessing and really beautiful to hear that.
Yes.
Um, but in regards to asking more questions and the business building aspect of it, I'll just
Mhm.
be transparent with you. Randy and I have had this conversation several times. I've been part of many MLMs over the years, and I have traditionally, I'm trying to speak better and use my words better. So up to this point, I have always been a little I guess hesitant to sell, right, to people. I always felt like I'm trying to sell them on something. Now, I do think Modexus is different in that myself and my family use these products daily. We've seen the results firsthand, so I
Sure.
can speak to it and I have a passion for it like I never had for any of the other businesses. That being said, I would love to know some tips, some tricks, some whatever you've got up your sleeve or however you're working your business. We would love to hear some things that will help the rest of us achieve those levels of success within Modexus that I think the vast majority of us would love to see just continue growth in that area.
Right, right. I think probably first and foremost, Brittney, it's really perfecting becoming a good listener. And when you go into a conversation, you cannot have an agenda because it might be, in fact, nowadays, this one coaching program that I'm involved with, this gal who's, a marketing genius, really, but she said it used to be 8 to 12 touches before somebody would purchase, and it's like 30 to 40 now.
Wow.
So it's not something that a person should get discouraged if they talk to somebody once or twice. But the thing is you have to separate when you have conversations that isn't necessarily the agenda you're going to have. It's mainly learning to when that opening is where someone will say something. And I'm going to use an example. I have a gal that I met in a networking group, and she had a flooring company. And in fact, I had them put our floors in our condo a couple of years ago. And I've maintained a friendship with her because I really like her. So we get together for coffee now and then. And she has a son that has been struggling severely with TMJ and anxiety. And she's really worried about him. He's an adult son. And I knew about this, and I had mentioned one of the other times we were together about our tranquility and our and the relief. And she said, I'll ask him about it. And nothing ever happened. And it might have been even 6 months later. We finally get together. She's doing great. She lost a little weight. I know it was just fun to see her. And then I asked her about her son again. And she said, Liz, I'm just really, and so we just had more of a conversation. And it was the right time for her. It was the right time for her son. She asked him, he said, I'm ready to try it. And doggone it, if he isn't getting great results and is now off all these awful narcotics, it made me cry, honestly, when she wrote to me and said that. And now she has also gifted a bottle of tranquility to one of her best friend's sons who was just getting ready to go to the doctor's office to get some meds for anxiety, which is running rampant in our world, as we know. So I think it's becoming a good listener, and always you have to come from a place of abundance. I shared this when I did the interview with Andrew the other night, is when people can sense when you're coming from a place of scarcity. And unfortunately, in a lot of our direct sales and companies, and the company I was with actually prior, which I knew nothing about compensation plans. Somebody told me it was the best one out there. And I went, oh, well, whatever. Okay, I like the products and maybe I'll try and make some money. Maybe. Well, never made any money. But the company was making money. I had stuff, I was moving product, but the compensation plan didn't allow me to get paid yet. So the whole time you're coming from a place of neediness, thinking, well, if I need to get someone on that other leg, because then I need to find a business builder. Where when I got involved with Modexus, I sat back and looked at myself, and because I've been self-employed my whole life, Brittney, and I was a professional horse trainer for 35 years and a personal chef now for 20. So, and my success only depended on me. It didn't depend on somebody else creating and generating something so I was successful. Yes, it is fabulous. And I love building a team and helping other women rise up and succeed. But here's where, when you are not happy with the income you're making, go look in the mirror and negotiate with your boss. And then it's like, okay, it's time for me to gather more customers. And so that for me is, I thought, okay, well, the way our smart pay system is, it rewards that, and which is fantastic. And yes, it's going to be, I know I have goals of how many legs of business I will I would, that I want to build, but I'm not waiting around for that to happen. I'm going to keep trying and working on generating that. And I truly believe a lot of our best advocates are going to rise up from our customer base. When somebody sees, like, you know what, I feel so good on this, Liz, I'm ready to give this a try. Will you help me?
Yeah.
And so I think that, and I'm not surprised, Brittany, if you've been in other companies, and it's not up to our corporate office to train us necessarily how to go about our business, because everybody's going to go about it different. There's some people that can post all over social media and maybe they're getting, you know, maybe they're getting a lot of business that way. For me, that isn't my comfort level. Although I will do what I call POW post, which is proof of work. Like when I have an accolade, I share that. I'm proud of it. And if I've got something that's helped me, I will create a post that generates curiosity. And then anytime anybody emotes, if they do a reaction or a comment, those are all warm leads. What those are then is inviting, they have touched on something you've said, which then you can go in and not say, hey, want to buy my stuff, but go in and look on their profile and maybe start interacting. Oh, I see you got a new puppy. Or, oh my God, how was graduation? It's no different than if you were going to a party somewhere and you're meeting somebody in another room. You're going to just start talking about your life, probably, which would be, unlike, hi, do you want to marry me, on the first date.
Sure.
Oh, and I think that when you become a good listener, it becomes very, it, and it takes practice, but you will then understand and know when you might say, you know what, you've just told me something that's really hitting home for me. I have either a family member or I have another customer, and then you tell a story. And when you invite somebody into a story, then you're making the customer a hero, and then you're the guide. And this is really following a format that Donald Miller, who is an outstanding business coach, really. He's got his business now is called Business Made Simple, but I started following him when it was called Story Brand. And it gets you thinking in the right way to tell a story, and where it's not always telling a story about me, me, me. It's about weaving in, or, I know somebody just like you, Brittany, that is a mom that has a son with allergies. And guess what? This product has really made a difference. It might be something that you might want to take a look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love, yes. And I love the no agenda listening, connecting on a human person to person level, and not I need your money, or I need you to buy my product, or any of that. I love the idea of coming from a place of abundance too. Like I said, I try to be, particular with my words, because I do feel like I had a lack mindset for a very long time. And it's something that I've strategically worked on over the last year. And I can see how that would absolutely benefit how you come across to others.
Absolutely. If your mind isn't in that right space, you're going to resonate exactly what's going on with you. And so it does. I mean, there's some days that you really have to work on it. And it's all about training your brain and really knowing that you can control your thoughts. And it's like, how am I going to think about this? And then making that choice. And no, and there's times that it's not easy. I mean, I have days that I think, oh geez, how am I going to get in the mood to maybe say something cheerful? But I just stop and I let myself sit in that feeling of frustration, and then realizing it's just a feeling, and then going, I can change that. I can change that feeling. I can choose to feel better. And then look around and realize that even on our hardest days, that most of all of us are blessed more than most. And realizing that, and not getting away from having the poor me, because then all that does is just spiral you. That doesn't do anything for you.
And I think it's good to point out too, this isn't like toxic positivity where things are going wrong and you're just keep trucking, life will get better. This is this is a mindset shift, and it's purposeful in the moment. I love that.
Yes.
Oh, you are speaking my language.
Okay, good.
I love it. I love it so much. So I'd also like to ask you, maybe let's talk to the advocate who's currently sharing their products with their friends, their family, the people on social media. They're making maybe $40 a week in their smart pay, might be popping into their smart pay every week. How do they level up? And I'm personally curious on this
Okay,
one.
okay. Well, what I did with a lot of with my customers, what I do is because the thing is with your smart pay, when it's in order for it, you want it to at least stay the same and grow. You don't want it to go away because they stop ordering.
Yeah.
And it's our job, if they stop ordering, to discover why. Because I like to put that on something maybe I could have done better. And I'll be very transparent with them and say, and this is what I tell the girls on my team is find out what it is. And some of them might say, you know what, I just ran out of money, or I wasn't sure if I was taking it right, or it wasn't, you didn't really explain, whatever it might be. Then that's how you grow and find out how you can be better for the next customer. But our job is to have our customers have the best product and company experience, period. That's how they become what I call brand loyal customers they would never even think of going and changing and buying something at Costco.
Yeah.
And it's staying in touch, keeping in touch when it has nothing to do with the product. Just sending a text, if it's text, how you keep in touch, and just say, I'm thinking about you today. Hope you have an awesome day. And that human connection like that, and it's genuine. I mean, obviously when I'm doing it, I'm not just like copying and pasting but these are people that I'm really thinking about. I know they all have a lot on their plate. So I think as far as the leveling up goes, satisfy the customers you have as well as you can. And then they are your best referral source. Is say, I'm working on growing my business. What I do with mine is I actually reward them. Yes, they still have their rewards points in the back if they, can use those. But I personally will, if a new customer comes via them, I usually will give them a $25 gift card or some kind of a gift. It might be another bottle of product. I've done both and I kind of figure it out. But and some of them say, oh, Liz, it's not necessary. I said, wait a minute. I appreciate your confidence in me. You know how I'm going to take care of this person, because that they don't even have a qualm. They know because of how I've treated them, they know that their good friend is going to be treated the same. And
Yeah.
and then that just starts to have a ripple effect. But just like Lori Coors, who's on my team, and I'm so proud of her because she did a live yesterday in the business community, it's also, you just have to go about it every day and be purposeful in one way or another. And just starting with those conversations. And the only thing, and it's not like, hi, haven't seen you in a while, want to buy my stuff. It's getting those relationships where then it won't be creepy and weird when you do say, look you know what? I don't know how much you know about what I'm doing, but I'd love your opinion of my business website. If with your permission, I always ask permission, with your permission, could I send you my link to my site and and will you take a look? If not, no worries. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. I
Give
love
them
it.
an out, and most people will say, sure.
Yeah. Just
And then
inviting them. You're
you're
inviting
inviting
them.
them
Yeah.
to just take a look at what you're doing, because and not going into a big song and dance about, oh, it's because we're so young and just it's just asking, it's just being a good human, and also just speaking in normal speak.
Yes. I love, oh man, you just simplified this so much for me. Thank you. Because
Good.
I am a relational person. I'd much rather build relationships with people than, in my mind, it seems like two different things, building a relationship and building a business. But
No.
what you're sharing with me today is like blowing my mind in the best way, because it's one and the same. And I love
Yeah.
that.
And I don't know who quoted this. I don't know if it was Eric Worre or somebody, but all business is conversation. Business is conversation.
Yeah.
And like I said in the interview with Andrew, is when you become known as a resource, not just, oh, there's that girl that sells Modexus, or there's that girl that sells this. When you become somebody that can help somebody with a problem, whether it's with our products or something else, it's incredible, because they say, oh, you know what? I think I'd ask Liz about that, or I think I'd ask Brittney about that. She knows a lot of people. And when you're a good connector, your world just opens up. It's all about just helping people get what they need, whether it's something our product is going to help with. And that's where it's opened up, where people then don't see you as somebody that's going to come at them like, okay, here she comes. What can be my excuse today? You know, and you don't want people to think that about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, this has been so good. I have one last question before we call it for the day.
Okay.
Talk to me about testimonials. Do you ask for testimonials, or are people just reaching out and saying like, oh my gosh, Liz, thank you so much for introducing me to this? I'll say for my own self, I'll be honest, I haven't necessarily asked
Right.
for them. And it's funny because in other places in my business life, the other things that I have going on, I don't have a problem doing that. And so why am I not doing it with Modexis? So I'm curious if you're intentionally asking, because I feel like that could be sort of a missing piece for many of us as well.
Yes, I think, and I actually have quite a few that I need to get organized, and then not only out in the groups, but then I have my own personal Better Lifestyle Solutions business page where I have a results page, and so I am in need of getting. I have quite a few there, but I do need to get some updated. So I think that's another thing, going back to when you're nurturing your customer base, is that's a perfect time to ask your customer, what's your experience been like so far?
Mhm.
And then if somebody has something profound, um, sometimes it's just like, God, I just feel so much better. But sometimes that's better too. I mean, that's a good enough testimonial. It's like, and then you can, use that. I have one very dear friend that has rheumatoid arthritis, and she has a profound testimonial. So I have to and what I'll do is, um, I will probably write it up for her, have her read it and go, yeah, that's perfect, Liz. And then send it, of course, to Randy for, compliance and all of that.
Right.
But it's just keeping in touch with those that are on the products, especially if you listen to your customer, they're buying a product specifically hoping for it to help them with something. Then finding out, how is that addressing? Are you finding, yes, I'm getting better sleep. I'm not as anxious. And those little sound bites are testimonials.
Yes. And the follow up and the
Oh, follow up.
continuing.
I mean, the fortune of follow up, you cannot say that too much. You just cannot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I so appreciate our time together today, Liz. This has been great. I learned something new, and I love learning new things. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
genuinely appreciate your time and your expertise, and congratulations again on being awarded Advocate of the Quarter. I'm sure, that feels good. And I hope you did
Yeah.
share that with everyone and let them know, here's what I'm doing with
Yes. Yes.
Modexis. So
Yes. 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 Thank you so much, Brittany. This has been a joy.
awesome. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of Behind the Berry. Have a great day. Hey, guys, it's Brittany. Make sure to go visit modexus.com. That's MODEXUS.com to connect with an advocate for Modexis in your area. I'd also love it if you would like and subscribe to this channel as well as the Modexis channel. And be sure to hit the little notification bell so you know every time we post something new.